Hello! Good evening. I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, I'm trying something different with some background music today. So hopefully it's not too loud. If it's too loud, let me know. Or if you can't hear it at all, let me know as well in the chat. Because I don't quite know. I'm still trying to figure stuff out to the live stream. But I hope you're all having a really good evening or day, depending on where you are. Because I know that some of you come from other countries beyond my own. Yeah, it's been a very weird week, and I mean, it's been a really busy week for me, but I mean the world, it's been a really weird week. It's probably like, maybe I should turn the music off for now. Can't hear any music. There we go, I've turned it off a bit. But the weather was really nice at the first part of the week, actually probably too hot. So I was like, do you know what, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that the weather's really nice, and I'm going to buy a chair and a table that I can sit outside. And so the weather's turned, the weather's horrible now. Typical, because I bought a chair and table to be able to sit outside with. But, you know, it is what it is. What are you supposed to do about it? It's what I get for living in Wales. It started raining. Oh, the cat wants to come in. Come in. Say good evening. Or just lick my arm. Do what you want. Anyway, the cat's here. So, because he's in here, he'll probably want to come in and out a few times, so I apologise for that. Yeah, it's been a really busy week as well. I work part-time for my mum's business, and we've been decorating the shop ready for when we can reopen in Wales, because I know that in Wales our opening up restrictions is a little bit behind the rest of the UK. But we're doing really well with the coronavirus numbers, so it's not such a bad thing. Yeah, that's been my week. Busy. Talking about the week as well, and it being a weird week. I'm sure a lot of you have read the news and you've seen what's going on in what has happened in America and what is happening. Well, not just in America, but around the world in regards to Black Lives Matter. And I personally didn't realise the extent of it and what we could do to be like an advocate to help people. I just assumed that because I wasn't racist, that was enough. But the thing is, the people who need the help can't help themselves out of anything if there aren't people who are outside of that hardship advocating for them. So it's made me aware that we need to not just not be racist, but we need to be like learning, getting information, and being an advocate for people. So what I've done is there's a link in the description to the Black Lives Matter website. If you want to learn more, I recommend going to that website. I've also downloaded an audiobook I don't read books so much anymore, but I do listen to audiobooks. I'll get it up on my phone. Now I've got to know how to use my phone. I haven't.
This is Autumn.
I haven't listened to this book yet, but I've seen that it's supposed to be a really good book to listen to learn more. It's called White Fragility by Robin DiAnglio. So if you're looking for something that could help in your education, this is one that's been recommended to me. So White Fragility, Robin DiAnglio. I'm sorry, my pronunciation for names is terrible. I can speak Welsh and I can pronounce all those really long Welsh names, but for some reason I can't pronounce like normal people names. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what I recommend you do. Have a look online, have a look at resources, and try and educate yourself in ways that you can be someone who helps the situation rather than standing idly by. Don't get me wrong, I don't know all the answers and what we can do to help yet, but that's where I'm learning things and finding out what I can do and what things I can do to help. And I know that one thing I can do is that there's some of you listening to my live stream, so I can at least recommend that you go to that link in the description. And I'd like to do more, so it's about me learning what I can do and doing research. Based on that, then I'm not bringing out a video tonight. It's because I've been taking the extra time to get educated and learn about the situation. So if you normally spend about 20 minutes this evening watching my video, I recommend going to that website instead and learning things rather than the time you spend on my video. Go to their website instead, because that is more important at the moment than my video. So there's no video tonight because I want you to go and learn about what's happening and what we can do, basically. Yeah, so go do that. Moving on from that, we're gonna go do the news. So the plan for this evening is the travel news. We're then going to be going to the dumb laws of Australia this evening. We're then going to be doing our quiz. And then you're going to go on the Black Lives Matter website and do some research and learn more and see how we can help people in less privileged situations than we are. Because I'm very aware that I'm in a privileged situation and we should use that, basically. Travel news! I need to have some kind of theme song for this part. Oh, look, you can see what I'm on. Okay, so kind of in the same irk as what we were just talking about is coronavirus. Are protests legal amid lockdown? So in a lot of countries around the world there are protests going on at the moment, and we do still have a global pandemic, I understand, but we need to be aware that some of these things that are being fought for at the moment are, like, sorry, no offence, more important than a global pandemic. I know it sounds like crazy to say, but they are, you know, human rights versus, like, I don't know. Anyway, this is what the BBC has to say on whether protests are legal amid lockdown. So I'm bringing this up because it does have, like, it is travel news basically, because it is talking about people leaving their home and if they can go out. And if this is something you're thinking about doing, it is to do with travel. So what does the lockdown laws say about protests? So this is in England they're talking about, but you can kind of take what's going on in your country and adjust it basically for what the status of the lockdown is at the moment. So England now has the loosest lockdown in the UK with no restrictions on going outside, but the rules, officially known as regulations, don't explicitly say anything about whether people can protest or not. However, Regulation 7 restricts public gatherings to no more than 6 people. The law defines a gathering as a meeting involving social interaction with each other or to undertake any other activity. So that means pretty clearly that a protest is currently illegal with any other activity that could increase the spread of the virus. But what penalties could you face taking part in a protest? Police have been trying to encourage people to follow the law and the public health message, and they can break up gatherings. So all that together, officers have the power to break up and ticket people for being part of a protest on coronavirus health grounds. But is there not a right to protest in the UK? Yes, but this is where it gets rather tricky, because that right is often misunderstood, and the coronavirus health emergency has complicated things further. So basically, you can see there are people in small groups in parks. It's very difficult to argue they are not all in the park for the same purpose. So if we're talking about stopping a protest, there has to be fair and equal and just application of the law to these people as well as those in the park. If not, she warns, closing down a Black Lives Matter protest on coronavirus grounds could be seen as unfair and disproportionate use of the regulations. So that's what they say, basically saying that if everybody goes to the park for the same reason, that's a gathering of more than 6 people, and everybody's in the park to go sit down or exercise. So if I go to the park and protest with other people who are in the park to protest, then can't we all go to the park at the same time to protest? Because people can all go to the park at the same time and sit down, you know? So I agree with what they're saying. If you do decide to go to a protest though, stay safe, take hand sanitizer, put a face covering on, and make sure that you try your best to socially distance. And I know it's not always possible, but just try your best. Because at the end of the day, it is still a global pandemic, but some things sort of, supersede it. Is what I think. Next news. Coronavirus. What are the UK travel quarantine rules? Even though everybody's been up in arms with the UK government for bringing in these silly rules, I think they're silly, they are bringing them in. A 2-week quarantine period for anyone arriving in the UK will be enforced from June the 8th, so in 3 days' time. More than 200 travel companies have asked for the new rules to be scrapped, and some MPs have also voiced concerns. So the new rules are passengers arriving in the UK by plane, ferry or train, including UK nationals, will have to provide an address where they will remain for 14 days. Travellers must keep a receipt to show they have filled in a form with these details, and there is a £100 penalty for not completing it. Surprise visits will be used to check that they are following the rules. Those in England could be fined for up to £1,000 if they fail to isolate. But passengers should drive their own vehicle to their destination where possible. If they don't provide an address, the government will arrange one. Once at their destination, they must not use public transport or taxis. They must also not go to work, school or public areas or have visitors unless they need essential support. They're also not allowed to go out to buy food or other essentials where they can rely on others. This thing about not using public transport from the airport, the closest major airport to where I live is London Heathrow, which is over 3 hours away. Which is a long old time to drive to an airport. And then you have to pay for parking to keep your car there. And then you keep your car there for however long you're away, and then you come back, and then you've got to drive home 3 hours again. It's like, are you going to, reimburse me? If I'm having to park my car in Heathrow Airport for a week, which is going to cost like, I don't know how much car parking is, like £100, maybe more. And I've got to pay for fuel to get there and back. You know, that's altogether going to cost me like, I don't know, £160. Whereas I can just get like the megabus for £20, even though the megabus isn't running at the moment, but you know what I mean. I can get a bus there and back for like £20. I'm not sure how sustainable and doable it is in this current format, so we'll see how that carries on. I can't see them being able to sustain it, if I'm honest. Next news. This is just a quick one because I'm not signed up to the Telegraph website, so I don't get the full article. No one is going anywhere before the government lifts travel ban, experts warn. So even though countries are opening up, just be aware that there's still the Foreign Office travel ban still in place. So even if Spain reopens, even if Greece reopens, we still can't travel for essential reasons. Like essentially, the borders are still closed for us to go out for holidays. So even though all these things are coming into place, just be aware that we're still not meant to travel internationally. It's still. Next one is, and the last one is, some people might be interested in this, is what's going to be happening to festivals. If you're missing festivals, the boss of Reading and Leeds and Wireless reckons he has a solution to make sure they go ahead as normal in 2021. Melvin Ben, Managing Director of Festival Republic, wants to link his events with compulsory coronavirus testing. Simply put, a negative COVID-19 test would be the key to getting into a show. However, his idea would need considerable buy-in from the government and scientists. He argues social distancing doesn't work at festivals and would need to be full houses in order to make them economically viable. Without full capacity, it's impossible for us to operate our business. Instead, coronavirus testing would act as a personal incentive for somebody wanting to attend an event, and he's arguing with the government to adopt it. So that's what they're thinking the future of festivals would be. So basically you get to go into a festival if you have that negative test. So it wouldn't be this year. I think all the festivals for this year have been cancelled, but looking into the future, that's one route that they're looking for. Which I think I don't really like festivals. There are too many people, and like I don't like people like touching me too much. So like it's been quite easy for me to social distance because I don't like people standing too close to me anyway. So I don't get on very well in festivals because of that. And plus I don't like people. I don't mind being muddy, but I don't like being muddy for a long time. I'd like to volunteer for a festival next year. I wouldn't mind volunteering for a festival because there's sort of ways that you can get and watch the things without having to be near people, and you don't have a campsite by other people. I get scared of people like stepping on me when I'm sleeping and like mud getting in my tent. And bear in mind, right, I worked on a dairy farm, so I don't know why I don't like mud. No, it's not that I don't like mud, it's that I don't like being dirty for loads of time. So as long as I can shower, and as long as I can keep the inside of my tent clean, and somebody doesn't fall on the tent and, you know, it turns into like a horrible mess, then I'm fine. Like, I've been to Reading Festival before, and it was, and I enjoyed, but I won a competition, so I stayed in the guest camping area. It's basically where all the people who win tickets stay, and where the friends and family of the band stay as well. So it wasn't really like a wild campsite. we all had like loads of space around our tents, and you know, it was quite quiet. We were really close to the stage. We weren't that far. It was like, I'm gonna say like 3 minutes walk to the big stage at Reading Festival. Yeah, but I see like pictures of like people, crazy people in festivals, and not for me. Alcy says no thank you, maybe Chelsea Flower Show. Oh, that'd be nice anyway. We're going to be going on to, where's my slide? Dumb Laws, Australia edition. Sorry, I'm drinking hot chocolates at the same time. So, this was requested for the Dumb Laws of Australia, so let's go have a look. Dumb Law of Australia number 1. It's an offence to possess 50 kilograms of potatoes in Western Australia. This was to do with, there was a famine situation, and it was supposed to stop hoarding. I can't remember how many years ago it was, but that's what it was supposed to stop, was people just hoarding food. Much like this year. But anyway, it's an offence to possess 50 kilograms of potatoes in Western Australia. Without context, it sounds weird. To be fair, a lot of these laws sound weird without context. Taxi cabs in Queensland are required to carry a bale of hay in their trunk. My guess is that this goes back to the times where horses and carriages were taxis, and it's just an old law that hasn't been updated. Can you imagine if you like pulled up to the airport, a taxi came, and you're like, "All right, right mate, can I put my suitcases in the boot?" And he's like, "Ah, no, sorry, there's no room in my boot. It's just full of hay." And then you gotta like ride all the way to the city with your suitcase on your lap because there's no room. Law 3. Bars are required to stable water and feed the horses of their patrons. Good way to save money if you've got a horse, just stay in the pub all the time. Just stay in the pub and they'll feed your horses for you. Law 4. It's illegal to dress up as Robin and Batman. I did some research into this, and I read that it's illegal to dress up in a costume without reason. So I think that's where this comes from, where you can't just dress up as somebody if there's no reason. I don't know what constitutes as a reason. I just felt like dressing up and walking down the street. I don't know. Law number 5. Only licensed electricians may change a light bulb. I read in some places this may be a myth, but I think it's supposed to stop tenants in rented accommodation from messing about with their house. But it sounds crazy because it takes literally like 3 seconds to change a light bulb. But apparently only licensed electricians may change a light bulb, which I can't see being an actual law. What do you think? Law 6. Walking on the right hand side of a footpath in busy Australian street is against the law, and apparently you can get arrested for it. Which is crazy as well. I'm guessing it's supposed to be so you have like a flow of traffic almost, but it's pedestrians. Maybe like health and safety? I don't know. But apparently that's the law. Law number 7. In Australia, native birds like cockatoos, finches, doves, ducks or pigeons are not allowed to be kept as home pets if they've been caught in the wild. Which, This came under, when I was doing research, it said dumb laws or weird laws, but I think this is actually a decent law because it's not very nice if, like, to just catch birds and keep them as pets. Can you imagine if I just went down to, like, the town centre by me and just caught a pigeon and brought it home and I was like, well, now you're my pet. It's like, it's not, I don't know, wild birds don't want to be pets because they're wild birds. I guess it's a little bit different if they're, like, bred in captivity and they're sort of used to it, but this is a good law, not a dumb law, but it came under dumb laws when I was researching and I disagree with it being a dumb law. Law 8. It's an offence to offer rewards for stolen property without asking questions in Tanzania and South Australia. Local jurisdictions do not permit anyone to give such rewards without the option for questions, since that leaves no room for capturing any criminals in the process. So basically, you can't go lost bike, $100 reward, no questions asked. You can't do that. You have to say, you can't say no questions asked, because if somebody just returns a bike to you, you pay them $100 and then they leave on with their life. Apparently, that leaves no room for capturing any criminals. You just wouldn't take anything back then, would you? Not that you should be stealing in the first place. To be fair, Tasmania. Sorry, I say Tanzania. Yes, Tasmania. I can't read tonight. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to read and my brain is just not connecting with words properly at all. We'll get there. Law 9. You can be fined $200 for touching electrical wires that cause your death. I thought this was a dumb law. Because apparently if you touch electrical wires and you die from touching them, you can be fined $200. But you're dead. I don't understand. Yeah, so I think this is a dumb law. And then the last law is a bit of a weird law. Law 10. It's illegal to wear hot pink hot pants after midday on a Sunday. And I read that this apparently was a Victorian time law. If I remember rightly, it dates back to then. I can't remember. But anyway, it's illegal to wear hot pink hot pants after midday on a Sunday, so don't even try it. Don't even try it. And that's Dumb Laws of Australia. Woo! Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to start the quiz in a few minutes, so hopefully you've got your pen and your paper ready. Yeah, stop raining now. I think I told you earlier, if you were here, that I bought a new chair for outside so I can sit outside when it's sunny, because the weather's been beautiful for like 2 months now. So obviously it started raining, but I sat outside this afternoon on my new chair and the weather was fine. It was a little bit windy, but I was like, I am going to sit out there on my new chair. I am not buying a new chair and not sitting outside. And of course I left it outside and it started raining on my new chair. This is what I get for being lazy and not picking things up. But I hope you all have your pen and paper ready now for the quiz. So we'll get on to the quiz. So there's 3 different types of questions that we're doing. So we've got true and false questions. We've got the normal sort of standard quiz questions. And then if you weren't here on Monday, I've brought in a new type of question. So there's only one of these questions. And basically it kind of looks like this, where my face is covering a landmark. This isn't the question, by the way. This is just an example. And you get 2 points for the answer. So this one is the Statue of Liberty. So you get 1 point for the landmark's name, you get half a point for the city or the region or the state or the county or whatever, and then you get half a point again for the country. So a point for the name of the statue or building or whatever it is, half a point for the area and half a point for the country. So this quiz is going to be out of 11. And hopefully you've all got your papers ready, because we're going to start the quiz. And question 1 on the quiz is, which country banned hand gliding to stop people escaping? And, right, to be fair, I included this question, because I thought it was really interesting. It's not necessarily a fair question, it's just a really interesting one. I'm going to give you a clue. Right, the first clue is the picture of the background is of the country. I'm going to give you a clue that it's in the Northern Hemisphere and it is... It's in either Asia or Europe. And I'm not saying that it's in both. Like, I know some countries are in both. It's in either one of them. So it's either in Europe or it's either in Asia. So, for example, it could be Spain or it could be Japan. But it's not either of those either. So it's either in Europe or Asia. And that's your clue. Question 2. What's the largest country in South America? And your clue is, it's on the map. But you need to speak Russian to understand what it says. Yeah, so what is the largest country in South America? I do try and give like hints and stuff, but I don't want to make it too obvious. So I thought that a map that has Russia on. I don't know. Maybe that's a mean one. I know. The answer is, it's in South America. Question 3. Which famous train system was first proposed to be barges to float people from station to station rather than train connecting stations? So basically, there's a famous train system in the world that when they were coming up with ideas for it, they had a few different ideas, and one of them was, rather than connecting the stations by train, using water and barges instead. Another clue is, if you've been to this place, you may recognise the view from, I know that, actually I'm not going to say who's been here, but the picture is of the place. Yes. Question 4. Which city's police force drives Ferrari FF, Lamborghinis, Mercedes, Aston Martins and other exotic sports cars? Again, the city is the picture. And if I'm honest, I don't really know but I know what a Ferrari and a Lamborghini and a Mercedes and an Aston Martin is. But I wouldn't be able to tell you like the difference between any of them. So which city's police, you can say I'm willing to accept the country as well. So if you don't know the city specifically, but you're like, oh, I swear it was in this country, I will accept the city or the country's name. So which city's police force drive Ferrari FF, Lamborghinis, Mercedes, Aston Martins and other exotic sports cars? I used to watch a programme on Channel 5. There's a police force in England that used to use Subarus. Yeah, fun fact. Question 5. True or false? The North Pole has no land. That's a picture of Antarctica, by the way, not the North Pole. I was just being lazy getting pictures, and I already had a picture of Antarctica. And I was like, ah, they look the same. And now I realise that there's mountains on there. So the picture is not a hint at all. Because the pictures of Antarctica are not of North Pole. So ignore the picture. It was literally just there because snow and an iceberg. But that's not even a picture of the North Pole. So, I can't really give you a clue on this one. Like, you've got your clue. Your clue is it's either true or it's false. Have fun guessing. Question 6. Here's your guessing one. So, my face is covering a famous monument in a famous city, in a famous country. What am I covering? And there's 2 answers for the name of the thing that I'm covering. I can't say. If you get both of the names of the thing, then you can have an extra point. So this thing that I'm covering, there's a name for one part of it and there's a name for another part of it. If you know the names to both parts of it, you can have the 2 points, plus the extra point for the name of the city, plus the half a point for the name of the country. So this is a 3-pointer. So the quiz is actually out of 12. I apologise because I changed my mind. So what's my face covering? Question 7. In which city in the USA is referred to as the Windy City? There's a film, a musical, named after the city. So if you know your musicals, which I don't know if it was named after this city, there just so happens to be a film of the same name as this city. Whether they are linked, I don't know. So which city in the USA is referred to as the Windy City? Question 8. Which is come on, words. Which is larger, the Isle of Man or the Isle of Wight? And for you guys who aren't from the UK, basically these are 2 islands in the UK. One is to the west of England and one is to the south of England. The Isle of Wight is to the south and the Isle of Man is to the west. So when you look at the map of the UK, you can see them on the map because they're reasonably significantly sized islands. But yeah, so which one's bigger? Isle of Man or Isle of Wight? I have been to the Isle of Wight, but I have not been to the Isle of Man, but I've sailed past it on my way to, I caught a ferry from Liverpool to Belfast, and we sailed past the Isle of Man. They look really pretty. What question was this? Question 8. Question 9. Name 3 of the top 5 spoken languages in the world. And I'm saying 3 because 2 of them are obvious. To be fair, 3 of them are obvious. That's why I said 3. But name 3 of the top 5 spoken languages in the world. Maybe this can be it. I'm changing the rules as we're going tonight. I'm feeling rebellious. For every one of the 3 that you guess, you get a point. So this isn't going to be a 1-point question. If you get one country right, you get a point. If you get another country right, you get a point. So this isn't going to be a 1 point question because it's not really fair. I'm asking for 3 answers and you only get 1 point. You get 3 points. So this quiz is out of 14. By the end that we're done, it'll be out of like 50 now. But name 3 of the top 5 spoken languages in the world. And question 10, true or false? It is unheard of in Italy to eat chicken with pasta. Or is it, sorry, unheard of? So this is in Italy. Around the world, the answer might be different, but what do Italians think of eating chicken with pasta? Sorry, I'm drinking water. And now is the end of the quiz. That was question 10. Let me move so I'm sitting decently. Because I know I'm not on the screen, I was sitting like, I may as well just show you. I sat like this. Yes, I am in pyjama bottoms, so I'm covered in cats, but I sat like this reading. Anyway, yeah, so that's the quiz. Any questions that you'd like me to repeat before I start going over the answers? If you were a little bit late coming in, because I've just noticed that my viewer count has gone up a bit. If you missed the first couple of questions and you want me to go over them, let me know. I don't mind doing that either. Because if you want to partake, I don't mind going over, like, you know, a few of the questions for you. But otherwise, can I repeat number 3? I can. Number 3, which famous train system was first proposed to be barges to float people from station to station rather than a train connecting stations? So basically there's a famous train line in the world somewhere that when they were coming up with the concept for it, they were originally thinking that maybe it was going to be barges going from station to station rather than a train connected stations. I'm not quite sure how well that train line would cope nowadays with there being barges and not trains. Oh my gosh. Any other questions that people would like me to repeat, or are we good to go? It stopped raining. The birds are out. I'm having salad for dinner tonight. I don't know why I told you. I'm just very excited. Into the questions. Into the answers, I mean. So, which country banned hand gliding to stop people escaping? And the clue was that it's either in Asia or in Europe. Well, it's actually in Europe, and the answer is Germany. More specifically, East Germany, and the ban came in 1980. And they say that it was for health and safety, but it was actually came in to stop people hand gliding over the wall to escape. So they banned people from hand gliding to stop people from escaping over the wall, which I thought was really interesting. So that's why I included it, because it's my quiz. Question 2. What is the largest country in South America? And the answer is Brazil. See, it's on the map. I told you, I gave it away. If you could read Russian, you'd know. So the answer is Brazil. Question 3, which is that I found this really interesting as well. Which famous train system was first proposed to be barges to float people from station to station rather than a train connecting stations? And the answer to this one is and this may surprise you, London Underground. And I have some writing to read out to you. Let's get it up on the screen. So, when the London Underground was first proposed, engineers suggested filling the tunnels with water and using barges to float people from station to station, or getting an army of horses to pull the carriages around in the dark. Evidently, they decided to opt for trains. And I've been in the Underground in the summer, and it is so humid under there. Can you imagine if it was barges instead of trains? The humidity in there would be insane. If it was just all full of water and you were going on barges. And you imagine how, like, crazy rush hour is at the moment. Not at the moment, like, I guess previous to lockdown. And then there are all those people trying to get on and off barges. I thought it was interesting. And the picture, the background picture, by the way, is the view from the Sky Garden. So I'll move it down so you can see. So you can see the Thames on the side and some of the London bridges. I think that's St Paul's Cathedral there as well. But that's the view from the Sky Garden. So if you're going to London, I do actually recommend going to the Sky Garden because it's free and the view's really pretty. And when it opens again, to go there, you need to book ahead of time. You need to be looking at their website about maybe 3-4 weeks before you plan to go there. They release tickets and then you can book. Then you can go for free. And I would recommend going. It's the sort of, I think they call it the walkie-talkie building. So it's the top floors of the walkie-talkie building, basically. Question 4. Which city's police force drive Ferrari, FF, Lamborghinis, Mercedes, Aston Martins and other exotic sports cars? The answer is Dubai, United Arab Emirates. So you can get a point if you said Dubai or if you said United Arab Emirates. I am generous. I think they drive those because a lot of people drive cars like that, and I guess you need powerful cars to chase after people with powerful cars. Whereas in the UK, a lot of us just drive like old cars with like no engines. Like my car engine is smaller than 1 litre. There are motorbikes that have like more powerful engines than my car's got. I think this takes, it's like 0 to 60 is like 17 seconds or something. So there's no, like the police, do you know what? Policeman could probably cycle and catch up with me. My car's so slow. But I guess if you live in a city with loads of powerful cars, then the police need powerful cars to chase them, possibly. Question 5. True or false? The North Pole has no land. And the answer is true. It's instead a sheet of ice that floats on top of the sea. So the North Pole has no land. Yeah. Question 6. So like I said, there are 3 points to get for this one. So there's 1 point each for the different names of the thing, and then half a point for the city and half a point for the country. And this is the answer. So it's Elizabeth Tower or Big Ben, London, England. So Big Ben is the name of the bell in the tower, and the tower is called Elizabeth Tower. It was renamed in 2012 for the Queen's Jubilee. So if you had Elizabeth Tower and or Big Ben, you get 1 point each for those. And then you get a half a point for London and half a point for England. Or if you put UK, that's fine too. Same thing pretty much. Because, you know, yeah. That's that. In which city in the USA is referred to as the Windy City? And the answer is Chicago. And that's the name of the Catherine Zeta-Jones is in the musical for Chicago. I really enjoyed it. I like musical films with a bit of edge. I don't like the ones that are like, I don't know, it's happy all the way through. I like it when there's a bit of like grit or something. You know, there's some kind of like substance to them beyond, I don't know, here's me walking down the street and singing because I'm in a musical, you know. Anyway, Chicago. Question 8. Which is larger, the Isle of Man or the Isle of Wight? And the answer is the Isle of Man. And I've got a picture to show you. So basically, the red part is the Isle of Man and the blue part is the Isle of Wight. And the Isle of Man is 572 square kilometres and the Isle of Wight is 384 square kilometres. Yeah, so the answer is Isle of Man. And I've also got an ad for Accommodation. No idea. But anyway, I thought that was really cool. The map, I mean, not the Accommodation. Question 9. Name 3 of the top 5 spoken languages in the world, and you can get 3 points for this one. So if you have any of these as your answer, you get 3 points, or, you know, a point each. So Mandarin, English, Hindustani, Arabic and Spanish. I'm sorry that I butchered that word. Hindustani. That's probably better. There we go. We can get there. So Mandarin, English, Hindustani, Arabic and Spanish. So if you've got 1, 2 or 3 of them, you get a point each. But you don't get 4 points or 5 points if you got them all. Maximum of 3 points. Question 10. Oh my gosh, I need to go to bed or something. I don't know what's wrong with me. Am I reading today? Question 10. True or false? It's unheard of in Italy to eat chicken with pasta. And the answer is... Okay, I just got right to the question. Oh my gosh, what a shambles. The answer is true. So apparently the Italians don't eat chicken with their pasta. And I can show you. Here we go. If you were paying attention earlier on, if you look up in that corner of my tabs, you'll see that I've got one for shopping that I still haven't done from Monday. And the next one says, why you can't eat chicken pasta. So basically, this website here is explaining why Italians don't eat chicken with their pasta. There's no particular reason, but these are some of the reasons that people have found. So this guy who wrote this blog, or woman who wrote this blog, said that he asked some people, and these are the answers to why Italians don't eat chicken with the pizza. One person said, because if you're using pasta all'uovo, it's mixing chicken with eggs, it doesn't seem right. One person said because pasta is served with meat that you cook for a long time, like lamb, beef, and so on. A third person says, don't know, but it seems strange when you think about it, because in Tuscany we eat pappardelle all'anatra, so pasta with duck sauce. Fourth person said, I don't know, but it seems strange because we have no problems going to a Chinese restaurant and eating chicken with noodles. So it can't be because it's really disgusting. Fifth person said, because the taste of egg pasta and chicken are very similar, so it's almost like eating pasta with pasta. There's no strong contrast in taste. For example, chicken lasagna. You're not going to write my name, right? If my nonna finds out that I tried chicken lasagna, she's going to kill me. I don't eat meat, but to be fair, chicken pasta doesn't sound very... Chicken lasagna doesn't sound very nice. And number 6 said, because it's disgusting. Chicken lasagna doesn't sound nice. I haven't eaten chicken for quite a few years, but still, like, I can appreciate, even though I'm vegetarian, if somebody says, you know, what about this? I can remember what stuff tasted like and be like, oh, that sounds nice. Not for me, but for other people, you know, I can appreciate that stuff tastes. But, I don't know, chicken lasagna just doesn't sound very nice. Tell me your scores. The quiz was out of 14, so I want to know your scores. Who's the winner? Tell me. Write in the chat. I know that there's a few of you, so don't let me down. Tell me in the chat who the winner is. Whilst people are writing down how much they've got, there's about 5 minutes left of the live stream. So if you weren't here at the start, basically I'm not releasing a video this evening. The reason is because of what has been happening in the world over the past week. I think that it's more important that you spend time educating yourself and being active on things like that, in relation to Black Lives Matter, rather than watching one of my videos. Because there's a lot about the protests in the news, and I want you to get more informed about that this week than my videos. So spend the 20 minutes that you would be spending watching my videos after this live stream on going to the link in the description of this video and reading up on the resources and things like that, getting more educated about how we can be more help to racism, because it's not enough just being not racist. We need to proactively help racism not be a thing anymore. But by not being racist, I've just seen a massive spider. Oh my god. It's not enough to just not be racist. We need to proactively not be racist. So basically be anti-racism and trying to get rid of it basically in society, because in societies, some societies, it is like ingrained in the culture of the country, and it's 2020 and that shouldn't be the case anymore. But anyway, when we're done with this live stream, go onto that website, spend the 20 minutes you would do watching my videos, go research that instead, because it's more important than watching one of my videos. So that's why there's no one out. So you've got no excuse to not go read up and learn things, because you'd normally watch my video anyway. And the results are in, and Emma had 10 out of 14, and she's the winner! Woo! Well done, Emma! Congrats! That's really good, well done. That's amazing. Very good. Yeah. I don't know what to say now. I've got, 2 minutes left of my live stream. I normally run until 7 o'clock, and we're a few minutes short of 7 o'clock. But yes, mate, yes, well done, Emma. I don't know what else to say. I think I've pretty much covered everything. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed first one from the beginning of lockdown. I think it's even in the other quizzes that we've done as well, because me and Em are part of like a quiz on Saturday night. I think it's you haven't won one of those either, have you ever? So it's like your first win. So well done. I am proud. You don't get a prize though. At some point I'm going to start doing prizes, but today's not the day. You don't get a prize. Your prize is I'll give you a call tomorrow morning and harass you. Congratulations. Yeah. Oh, so next on Monday we're doing Dumb Laws of Spain. If there's another law in a different country that you want to know about for next Friday, let me know as well, or facts about a country, or I'm pretty open to like anything that's sort of travel related that might be interesting. So if one time we want to look at, I don't know, weird aeroplane facts maybe, like anything, whatever you think you'd find interesting. Because the thing is, it's this live stream, I guess, isn't for me. It's for you and whatever you find entertaining, you know? And I work to make it so that it's entertaining for you. So if I'm just going to sit here for like 10 minutes reeling out like dumb facts of places that you don't care about, then what's the point, you know? But yeah, so if there's something you want to know about, let me know. And Emma says she has not won any quizzes since the beginning of lockdown. Well, you won this one, well done. Congratulations. Yeah, and actually I managed to fill those extra 3 minutes of time by chatting rubbish. So, like I said, if you have any things that you want to learn more about in regards to travel, let me know. You can either DM me on Facebook or DM me on Instagram, whichever one you prefer. Yeah, whatever you prefer to do, you can do. And now you're going to head to the link in the description and you're going to spend some time educating yourself about why what's going on in the world is so important at the moment. And I'm going to go. And thank you all very much for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed. I know that I enjoy. Yeah, I enjoy. And have a good evening. And I'll see you Monday night. And we'll actually have a video out on Monday. Back to normal on Monday. This has been a little bit of a different week. And I think there's more important things than me at the moment. So go learn about that instead.